It started when we got this cool drone in high school when I was a junior in high school, and I absolutely wrecked the crap out of it.
You did?
Destroyed the
Were
thing.
you flying it?
I was. Yeah, I ran it right into the school building.
Hi, Grant.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to Tech Talk.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you on here.
Cool.
Grant, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me about your career journey and what brought you to WSU Tech.
Absolutely. So my name is Grant Janzen. I've been here for about 5 years as a UAS Faculty Member. Drones has not been a very long industry. And so my career has been kind of an interesting one of growing with the industry itself. It started when we got this cool drone in high school when I was a junior in high school, and I absolutely wrecked the crap out of it.
You did?
Destroyed the
Were
thing.
you flying it?
I was. Yeah, I ran it right into the school building. And from then on, I had to learn to fix it because, well, we didn't have any money to just send it off and repair it. So between YouTube and some Amazon, I was able to get it up and running, and that's kind of the birth of my interest into drones. Went to college, went off for that, did some different things in agriculture work along the way, and then found myself here with drones and doing law enforcement training and teaching our students how to be professional drone operators.
So talk about, what do you teach your students?
We try to take this really developing industry that has so many use cases out there and do the best we can to well-round them for everything, whether it is, construction type of management, things like that, surveying, agriculture, law enforcement paths, any of those types of things that we can well-round them for, that's what we try to make sure.
So I often hear that there are not jobs in drones. So can you tell me whether that's fact or myth? But I also hear that drones are a part of many jobs.
It's a weird challenge because there are certain jobs out there that are drone-centric, super drone focused, but a lot of that is going to be inside the drone industry of manufacturing, testing, a lot of those areas. However, one of the big things we see the growth of the industry being for drones is really in integrating into those other fields, whether that is, like I said, construction, surveying, a lot of those different areas, even things that we have at the college that we offer, such as like HVAC, right? A lot of those are being able to use them to check on units on the roof without having to get the ladders out.
Ooh, I hadn't thought about that. That's cool.
So roofing, HVAC, all those good ones. So
Back in my early days of my career, I was at the Southside Education Center, and I'd have to go up on the roof and check the Freon on the rooftop units. Because I was the maintenance person.
You were the maintenance person.
Yeah.
What a journey.
But I did go up that, and I was on the roof of that building, and I never thought about that. Drones would be cool to check that.
Absolutely.
Let me go back to high school for just a second.
Absolutely.
Were you in a drone club? I mean, how did you end up flying a drone in high school?
So I was part of our broadcast crew. So we would do broadcasting of games and things like that. So if you ever had the YouTube live going on, we were the ones doing the color commentating. And so we were up there, doing the play-by-play for basketball and football. And then with that being said, we thought, oh man, we should get a drone for some intro. We got a little grant.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, and I think about the grants that we apply for nowadays, and the grant we got was like $2,000, and it was enough to buy a drone and a GoPro. And nowadays, you apply for much larger, and how far that's come. So that was kind of my first experience into grants was in the high school level.
So if you were going to explain unmanned aircraft systems to somebody that doesn't really know anything, how would you do that?
Sure. Unmanned aircraft systems, depending on how we want to frame it, right? If we're looking at the commercial side or the hobby side, sometimes it's going to be not only the drone itself, but the controller and the person flying. That's kind of the system, right? We have a term, people always say UAS, and that's the drones. Really, the drone is only a third of the system. Really, you have the other two pieces that make up the whole system, and that's kind of the cool part. Now, with that being said, sometimes these systems are pretty simple, right? You may pull out your controller, you got your little Mavic, and you're flying easy. And then we get to something more expensive, and we are having multiple crews, multiple different people out there providing overwatch and making sure that we can actually see and are providing a safe environment to fly.
So when you talk about and I know you're doing this for fire and for police, talk about how you're training that workforce, upskill upskill,
Yeah,
reskilling
absolutely.
them basically to integrate that technology into the work that they do.
100%. So over the last couple of years, we've actually trained 120 different public safety personnel to not only get their Part 107, which is what we consider to be the entry into the industry. That's so you can make money flying drones.
And that's an FAA.
That's an FAA certificate. Yep,
Okay.
that's the entry. That's the entry in. That's your commercial pilot's license for drones. After that, we get them in their multi-rotor skills. So we want them to know how to fly. The kind of crazy part with the FAA certificate, it's not like a private pilot certificate where you have to have flight hours to go along with it. It's entirely by itself with just knowledge. There's no requirement to know how to fly at all.
So how do they know where to fly them?
I know, that's the hard part, right? So that's why we have to train them up and make sure that they get that. So we kind of take this as a 3-phased approach. Our level 1 is the Part 107 and some multi-rotor training. Level 2, we get into more of the tactical side of stuff. So thermal cameras, flying indoors, searching for people. That's always the more fun. That's one of my favorites to teach. And then the level 3 is more of their technical side.
So how does a drone search for people that are that they can't find?
Absolutely.
I mean, what technology does the drone use?
Yeah, so
to do that.
One of the biggest ones we use is thermal imaging. So
Okay.
we can actually pick up on the heat signature of us. So right now, the back of the wall would be the ambient temperature, but we would be radiating an extra amount of heat. And so when we're flying in a area, let's say that they're hiding in kind of a dense pasture maybe, and you're searching, can't find them with a spotlight, whatever. You put the drone up, and you can, bright as day, you can tell. We were at a training about 2 weeks ago in Coffeyville, and we were looking. We were just flying for fun. We were doing some night training. We look out into the field, and there's 40 deer bedded down in the field. So you can tell very easily how many different deer are out there.
Kidding.
You can see coyotes wandering up on people. It's hilarious sometimes.
So you have a new building coming.
We do.
And in that new building, you have a whole new
Absolutely.
classroom, lab, drone field. Talk about what that's going to do. Talk about how it's going to change your program, what students can expect from that, and how you're going to do things differently because you've got this incredibly
Absolutely.
new space.
Absolutely. So one of the big things we're super excited for is, number one, having the space to expand and do more lab activities with our students. Right now, our lab, or our classroom, I should say, is kind of a twofold. We have a lab area that's relatively small currently, and then we have our computer lab area that is 16 computers that are all fairly high-end PCs for doing a lot of processing of data. So now having the ability to separate those areas and run multiple things at once in there is super important to not only allowing more students into the classes by expanding capacity, but also in providing a more hands-on experience of each of them gets to have their space to work like they would in the real world.
So I did a tour last Friday, and the center of the top of that is 17 feet tall.
Absolutely.
And the sides are 19 feet tall. What kind of drones can you fly in there?
Well, for sure we can fly the drone soccer balls, 100%.
Oh, cool.
Those would be
Okay.
fun. We do have plans to do a little indoor racetrack as part of a drone club with our students. The other thing is we are getting some R10s, which is a Skydio product, and they are made for indoor tactical flying. And so in GPS-denied environments where you can't have GPS helping the drone, that's what these are for. So they're able to fly inside and look for people that are in a barricaded area and stuff like that. So that's one thing we will definitely fly indoors.
So how do drones and connect into Industry 4.0? We hear Industry 4.0, which is automation and robotics.
Absolutely.
And all that. What's the connectivity between drones and that in manufacturing?
Absolutely.
Or in the world of work?
Yeah, so I think with Industry 4.0, I think we're going to see a lot of that last mile delivery type stuff, especially instead of having parts being driven across, town maybe to a different manufacturing facility, they'll load them up on a drone and fly it across quickly. It just speeds up those timelines, makes that conveyor belt system that is already in place from those robots, extends it a little further. Takes the human error and the human element out of some of those hazard areas that we don't necessarily need them in.
So, I know in some places drones are dropping Amazon packages.
Absolutely.
When do we expect to see that in Wichita?
I think you're going to probably see that in a few more years. We are not Wichita is not always the fastest to take on the brand new technology, unfortunately. But if you can find it in Dallas, just a little farther south from us, and I think we'll probably see it in about 3 years, is my guess. Just knowing Amazon's and their goal of rolling it out here soon.
Good. What is the future of UAS? Like what's it? And I guess the other question I have is eVTOL considered UAS?
It's kind of a mix. So
And you might tell everybody
yeah,
what eVTOL is.
Yeah, so electronic vertical takeoff and landing is eVTOL. And really what that is how do we make a plane or a helicopter and we combine them together and make them fully electric. And we use that for not only packages or for asset transport, but also for people transport, such as Uber, Elevate. They're working on theirs on doing short hop destinations. So instead of flying across New York City, you can or instead of driving across New York City, you can fly across. I think that while yes, it is very similar to the UAS industry, it's going to spark a new segment as well. And we call that segment AAM, or Advanced Air Mobility.
Okay.
And really that's going to be, UAS is going to take on the smaller side of things with, your surveying, still all that kind of fun stuff. And then your AAM is going to be your larger, able to carry people.
So it's the Jetsons.
The Jetsons all over.
It's like in real time.
They told us that would come sooner or later. So
I know.
we're here.
I know. I love it. I love it.
It's going to be great.
I want one that can leave the top of NCAT and take me downtown back and forth.
You probably need
2 or
it
3
how
times
busy
a
your
day.
schedule is.
Yeah, I need that.
So,
what do you think the growth of your program is with the things that we're doing and the future of UAS? What does the future of your program look like?
So right now, the future of our program it kind of changed this year. It went through a little bit of morphing. And one of the big things we're doing is we actually figured out a way to condense our 2-year associates program down into 1 single year. And
Nice.
so we're able to, while it's a roller coaster for the students on as far as credit hours, but making sure they're there on time and attendance wise, so they can get all those credits in. I think that's going to really help speed them up to get them to that workforce that is rapidly growing and changing.
So when you think about the professionals that you are creating, what excites you the most about that?
What excites me the most is that we are creating people for today that can go into the workforce, but we're also hoping to build that innovation and that drive to not only go into the workforce, but to problem solve into other industries, right? So they may be trained in surveying, but how can they go into some other industry and find a new innovative way to basically generate more revenue in that industry or make something safer in that industry, right? So by putting in some of that innovation into them, that's what I'm most excited about. We give a lot of projects that are like that to help them spark some of that creativity.
So I love the fact that you started in high school and crashed a drone, and now today you are leading the largest drone program in the state of Kansas.
Yeah, and we have plenty of high school students that were in the position I was many years ago. So it's really cool to kind of see that come full circle a little bit.
Grant, thank you for being on Tech Talk today. Appreciate it.
I appreciate being here. It was great.
As we look towards the future and the expansion of NCAT and all the kind of things that are going to happen, just really want to thank you for what you're doing. I thank you for building the future talent pipeline in this critical area and for advancing technology, both for Wichita, for Kansas, and actually across the nation.
I appreciate it, and thank you for all that you support us with. It's been great.